Hello, and welcome to Fedora Friday with me, Doc. Today we're going to talk about driving adventures. Well, last night I went on my first drive after getting my permit. Sweet. Let's see, how did this go? It started out with me and my sister and my mom all in the car. We got to the high school parking lot. Not the one I talked about in the last video, but we did. And, what happened was I was figuring out the controls and setting up my seat, and my sister was in the back seat saying, "Can I get out of the car? Can I get out of the car? Can I get out of the car?" for like 5 minutes. Then we started driving, and she's like, "Can I get out of the car?" and Mom's like, "Stop." And she's like, "Okay, where are you gonna go?" And there was like this rock off in the distance. I'm like, "How about you sit on the rock?" And then Mom's like, "No." And so Mom was like, "Why don't you sit on the picnic table over there in the dark shadows of the high school?" And she's like, "Maybe I'll stay in the car." So then we started driving, and everything was going fine. I was getting turn radius and everything set up, trying to figure everything out, and we did fine. Then towards the end of the drive, I jumped the curb. Yeah. What happened was I was driving around the corner, and I was turning the wheel, and suddenly I hit the stick coming out the side for the windshield wipers. And so the windshield wipers went on, which made me kind of lock up, and there you go, I started hitting the curb, and everyone was saying, "Brake, brake, stop, stop." And so my foot was down there, and I'm like, is my foot over the gas or over the brake? So it took a minute before I actually stopped, and I got it off the curb, and we were fine. But yeah, that was a little bit crazy. So also my sister was like, "You're on the left side of the road, Manon. You're on the left side of the road, Manon." And later that night we went to Winco, and after we had got our shopping done, my mom was driving like on the left side of the lane in the parking lot, and I'm like, "Look, Mom's driving on the left side of the road too." But it was silly because our car is really wide. Like, we have a Honda Pilot, so it's like a tank. We literally have nicknamed it Sherman, like after the Sherman tanks in World War I or II, I'm not sure which. And it was just like crazy. So Faith was being the little tra-la-la backseat driver, and Mom was sitting next to me, like telling me where to go and make sure you use your blinker and all this silliness. So that was fun. So on Saturday, I went to camp training, which was originally I thought I was going to go and play paintball, and I didn't. We went to say hi to Tatum because we knew camp training was going on, but we didn't know that we were supposed to actually be at it because it's for adventure staff. Anyways, we went up there to say hi to one of our friends, and Journey's like, "You guys are supposed to be here." And if you don't know who Journey is, she's like my boss, and I'm like, "Oops." And we were supposed to be there at 8, so that was kind of sad. But we ended up having a lot of fun. I met 2 new people who are going to be working there this summer. And we were, like, making a fire, and this was part of our training. Because, seriously, there's so many people who don't know how to make fires at camp. I don't know how this happens, it just does. But we were making a fire, and it started to smother, and we were, like, saving it, and Journey's like, "If I was mean, I'd pour water on that and tell you guys to start again." And we're like, "But you're not mean, right, Journey?" And she's like, "Yeah, whatever." And so she walked away, and suddenly it starts raining, and we almost killed the fire. So we got together, and we started working on it, and we made it survive, and then we created this giant roaring fire, and there was this entire pile of brush that we had to burn. So like, there were giant sticks that were pretty much tree limbs. Anyways, we had a hatchet, so we worked on those and got them apart, but most of it was just like little sticks that you could pick apart and throw in the fire. So by the end of the day, we pretty much got all of that, and that was fun. And then we did low ropes training, and we just hung out and had a good time. And it was really cool meeting 2 new people. One of them's a tattoo artist, and one of them can breathe fire. So they're both pretty interesting people. They are definitely cool. I can't wait to work with them this summer. And this weekend is going to be interesting because my brother is graduating. He's the eldest brother of our clan, the first child out of 10. So it should be pretty cool. I think he's getting like his bachelor's in, I don't know, geekology, I guess. It's computer science. He works like with a computer science place, and it's just really interesting. He knows a lot about math and programming and all that crazy like super science stuff. So that should be pretty cool. Afterward, we're gonna go out and eat together, and it'll just be like a party, and we're gonna have fun. I'm excited about that. Sadly, it means I'm gonna miss some of my camp training. That's gonna happen this Saturday. So, for those of you who don't know, I love Lord of the Rings, and I started reading the books again. I'm super excited for this coming Christmas, because I think that they're gonna release The Hobbit, which, if you guys don't know what that is, there's Lord of the Rings, but before Lord of the Rings there was The Hobbit, which is about Bilbo and, like, his adventures, which is really fun. It's gonna be pretty cool. I hope we get to go and see it. Ta-da! The Fellowship! So, if you guys have not read Lord of the Rings, you guys totally should, because it's super fun. It's funny. It has some really great word pictures, and the thing I like about this is that it doesn't really talk. I mean, there is the physical battle going on, but in Lord of the Rings, it's almost like Frodo is in a spiritual battle, because he's fighting like the ring that he has to carry. So it's like he's all upset. There's this huge battle of trying to keep courage enough to do what he has to do, and he knows that he'll probably never come back. Even when he first starts out with the ring, he knows he might die, and it's this huge thing of him trying to protect the Shire, his home, or in fact the entire Middle Earth at the time, which I don't think he realizes that, but he realizes that it's an important job. And yeah, but there's some favorite parts of this that I really like. One of them is the walking song, if you guys know what that is. Bilbo writes poetry and all that, and everyone in the Shire thinks he's like cracked, like gone bonkers. But here's one of the pieces of poetry that he has, except there's one slight change that Frodo makes. It says, "The road goes ever on and on, down from the door where it began. Now far ahead the road has gone, and I must follow if I can, pursuing it with weary feet until it joins some larger way, where many paths and errands meet, and whither then, I cannot say." The only change that it is now it's weary feet. When Bilbo says it, it's eager feet. But to me that's kind of like he's pursuing it even though it's gonna be hard and it's gonna be painful, and he knows that it's just going from danger into worse danger, and always it's gonna be following him. But he knows that he has to pursue this road in order to save his friends in the Shire. And I don't know if he knows it, maybe his own self, but it's really interesting. It's a great book just because of that. Just because there is that spiritual battle. He's fighting not only with the flesh, but like he's fighting the terror that he's going through when he's being chased by the 9 Black Riders, the Ring Wraiths, if you know what that is. And he's also fighting with his own desire for like power that happens when you have the ring. It tries to make you want that. And to me it just shows like us fighting our flesh versus us fighting, you know, like our flesh is like trying to fight with our spirit and trying to drag us down, but we're constantly trying to not do that. We're trying to get encouraged and to keep going. And that's kind of a Christian aspect that I just kind of see in this. Because when you're really upset and you're down, it doesn't matter if you have a lot of physical strength or a sword or a weapon. because you're so down and out that you're just upset and you can't do anything. But when you're encouraged, even if you only have a small amount of strength, or even if you're only a hobbit, a little person, you can do it because you have that courage. And for me, courage only comes from one place. I only have encouragement from God because He's my strength. And He chose me for this path. Anyway, this is just kind of random ramblings, but God gave me a purpose. He's got a plan for my life. I know I'm going through some of the rough stuff I'm going through, or I'm going through the good stuff I'm going through for a reason. And I know that it's going to be okay in the end, because God saved me, and whether I die or live, I'm going to heaven. And Jesus will always be with me. I will never be alone. Anyway, have a good week. Even if you're not a Christian, I would say read Lord of the Rings, because it's also just a great story. It will touch your heart, and it will be awesome if you have never read it before. But yeah, there's a lot of things in it that correlate with what's going on in stories in the Bible and spiritual matters for me. And I don't know if the writer meant to do that, or if, I'm pretty sure it was a Christian, so it just kind of came through and showed. That's just kind of what happens sometimes. Anyways, have an awesome week, and enjoy your day, enjoy your week, and know that you aren't alone if you're in pain or distress or anything, because there's a lot of other people going through the same kind of troubles. I just want you guys to know that everything's going to be alright, I think. So, have a good day, and goodbye.